For those who are new to this, I've had full custody of my 15-year-old son, who just turned 15, since July 3rd, 2008. My son's lived with me since he was 1.5 years old, before I even had custody. And it was, at the time, it was just what was best. I thought when you sign a birth certificate, you just have just as much rights. Now, when he was 4 months old, I went and got joint custody, paid child support probably less than a year, due to some things that his mom was involved with. My hand was forced to get full custody. I fought for that, got it, and it's been that way since then. DCF's been in and out of the picture more so in the aspect of the safety of my child. Not on my end, but I've had to be involved because I'm the one that's looked at always when it comes to being a black dad, like black dads are not in their child's life and things like that. So recently, as January, I had to discipline my child with a belt, which is not against the law. This is how I grew up. This is how I grew up. So these are all the steps that I take and how I parent. So I disciplined him with a belt because he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do in school, the talking, taking away the phone, all that didn't work. So as he gets older, we've all been there, we tried, our parents or whatever, but I had to do what I had to do. He told his mom, which was cool. I'm always an advocate for that. She used it as an opportunity to try to get full custody and try to get child support and all that type of stuff. So she somehow convinced him to leave the house without permission. It's not running away because she lives down the street. So it's not running away. It's leave without permission, play the game, whatever, fine. Told DCF exactly what I did. I was very transparent because I have nothing to hide. And this is how I discipline my child. There was no marks, there was nothing. Obviously, you can't discipline your child at 5 the same way at 15. So I got to make it a little bit extra so that he understands the picture. It's been a while since I had to do that, just to let him know that it doesn't matter how big you are, this is what you're gonna get. When that situation came about, they came, whatever, fine, they found nothing. They didn't support it. They supported not for abuse. That's what his mom had called and said when she called the hotline, whatever. So they came, they spoke to him or whatever. He used it as an opportunity because he's always wanted to live with his mom, basically because as we all get older, we want to live with the other parent because we're tired of the structure that we've been in. I've been there as well. Just the shoes on the other foot. I always told him, you can live with your mom when you're 18 when you graduate, because you need a structure. At this time, this is when you're supposed to be with your dad. You just have the luxury of being with me since you were little. Whereas me, I was 15, I ran away to Chicago to live with my father. That's the difference. So we're through that whole fiasco. It's still open now, but they're in the process of closing it. Like I told them, I have nothing to hide. They've came here a couple of times just to speak, nothing extra. The full custody thing didn't work because I always keep my ducks in order. I've always been consistent and taking care of him, nothing to hide. It's not anything personal with his mom, but I'm never gonna let nobody dictate how I raise my child when I'm the one that's doing it. So, needless to say, I'm only telling this because I know people go through this and they don't have the outlet that I have or the power that I have earned and fought for to be able to speak up. So I'm only sharing my story because I think people misjudge it with the fact that I've been blessed with all these great things, a family, a career, those type of aspects that I don't go through stuff. Like, no, I go through the same thing. Just because I have full custody doesn't mean anything. It's actually even more harder because we live in a woman's state for you to even get custody and for you to keep it. So this could have been an opportunity where I could have lost it all. But I just always make sure that I'm always doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm not perfect at all when it comes to parenting, but I always say, show me a day I wasn't here for my kid. Opinions is cool. We're not all perfect parents at all, but I'm gonna do what I gotta do for my kids. I even had to go through the process of getting a restraining order just to make sure, again, that I covered myself because a couple of years ago, I lost my job behind an old situation that I was just present to. And it wasn't even my fault. When I was going to apply for a supervisor position at my last job where I was at for 12 years, and they basically, at that time I was there for 10 years, and they basically had to fire me because you can't work with kids if you have DCF stuff involved. So I had to find a way to take care of my family. I had to find a job working overnight at Dollar Tree. I had to humble myself and do what I had to do for my family. Luckily, the wife saves money and is responsible with that aspect, so we were okay. But it was a pride thing for me. I worked hard for this, just had nothing to do with me. And basically I felt like my job didn't fight for me as much as they could. I know their hands were kind of tied, but I felt like I gave y'all everything when people were leaving. So The restraining order is only more so to protect me, so that it won't happen again, and to protect my family at the end of the day. It's no different than when a woman does it to a man. I'm always gonna do whatever, and I have to lead the example for the men who can't, again, who don't have the outlet to speak up like me. So yes, I have one, and that makes sure that my family is safe. It doesn't stop him from visiting his mom, which is important to me, but at the same time, I gotta make sure that my family is taken care of. I don't care about nobody else. So anybody on the outside, feel how they feel, even his mom, feel how you feel, but she understands because there's only one way for it to be addressed, and is I gotta do it that way, then that's the way I gotta do it. I feel like when dads don't do right, it's like a big old crowd to support the woman and say, yeah, he ain't shit and this and that. When a baby mom doesn't do anything, it's like they make up a whole bunch of excuses and they just give them so much sympathy, whereas why are we changing the narrative? When a dad doesn't do shit and he's doing what he wants to do and all that type of stuff, it's you're a deadbeat, you need to do that. Why are we changing the narrative when the woman doesn't? It's simple. It's either you're doing it or you're not. So my whole thing about it is I gotta speak up for what I see, because people are more worried about being cool and all that shit. Man, fuck that. If you ain't doing what you gotta do as a dad, then that's what it is. If you ain't doing what you gotta do as a mom, then that's what it is too. We gotta stop changing the narrative just because people are cool. Fuck that. It's either you taking care of your kid or you're not. Like, fuck all the holidays and all the other shit. Like, what are you doing during the week? Again, nobody's a perfect parent. But like I always say, being there is perfect. If you're there and you're trying, that's all you gotta do. But if you know you ain't out here trying, don't fucking make excuses and try to have people speaking on your behalf, or people shouldn't be speaking on your behalf. Like, open your eyes. Like, I say the same thing to my kid. What do you see? Forget about what I tell you. What do you see? What do you see? That's what I teach them. What do you see? Anybody can say they love you and they're there for you, but what do you see? And that's where I'm at with it. So I'm always gonna tell my story, and it's not to bash anybody, it's the truth. I'm telling you my truth. I have documentation that backs my truth. So it's not about opinions or I feel this way. Like, no, it's not about anybody else. It's about me, my truth.
What's your religion that you say that you belong to?
Baptist. We go to church. When I was younger, I was raised in Jehovah's Witness, and the thing with that is I have resentment towards them. Maybe it's not right, but that's just how I feel, because I wasn't allowed to play basketball, something that most kids wanted to do this and do that. All I wanted to do was play ball, and it was taken away from me. So I guess as I got older, that passion never died for me, and it just made me, just turn more bitter as I started to get older and started to see shit. Like, these people I'm supposed to be like. As I got older, my life ended up better than those people. Not saying I'm better than them, but I made better decisions with my life than these people I was supposed to be like. If you believe in God, your relationship with God is your relationship with God. When I was a kid, I played the drums in church. They took that away from me to be a Jehovah's Witness. Basketball, I got that taken away to basically be raised as a Jehovah's Witness. I did learn a lot of things in the hall, because they don't call it church, they call it the hall. But the same way how I found out as I got older, Ja Rule, who was my favorite artist, he was raised in Jehovah's Witness as well. And then, his mom was this fellowship, which is you don't talk to them until basically he got famous, and then it was okay to talk to him again. And it feels like I never got baptized because I was more so, I knew I didn't want to do it. So I didn't want to get to the point where I couldn't associate with my mom. Like, that was big for me. So I knew I wasn't going to do that because it was things I wanted to do. And I felt like when you get older, people live their life and they try to tell you to be them now. And they don't allow you to go through your own trials and tribulations. You could tell me and give me advice, but you shouldn't be so stern and so mad at me because I'm not taking your advice right now. Like, you went through your life, I'm sure you felt the same way. So why do you want me to be you now if I'm still maturing and still growing? I just feel like people use religion when it's convenient for them. That's how I feel. I feel like as we get older, you start to see shit for what it really is. When you're younger, people tell you how you basically should live your life. Now that, again, like they've gotten older, and you spend so much time trying to please other people that you really, at the end of the day, you're still not gonna please them. So as I go through this DCF shit and see like what shit really is, because the system will make it that it's not really what it is. Like, if they really were considering that my son was abused, why did they take him from me? it's not that. It's just they gotta follow protocol. But it's like you're not really concerned about my kid when you have no history with me at all, with me. You get what I'm saying? Everything is with his mom. You get what I'm saying? So, and now it's just, I see people's true colors and I see how shit really is. So now I speak about how I feel, and if your feelings get hurt, I don't give a fuck, because at the end of the day, no one gives a fuck about my feelings or what I gotta do to take care of my family. So I just do and speak how I feel, and that's just what it is. If you don't like it, that's cool. You don't have to be around me. You should be, the same people who've been around me know me for how I am, and there's always something that will always get my attention is when you fuck with my family. Other than that, I really don't give a shit. But when you fuck with my family, you're gonna get a different me. So it's not, oh, well, he changed. No, you made me give you the energy that you wanted. That's it.
Talk to me about the relationship with your father now.
It's good. Obviously, from the days of us first doing interviews and things like that, you know, and when I made my album, Pain, Rain, Forgiveness, I got a lot of things off my chest. At 27, we fixed our relationship, and it's great. I'm gonna call him. I just talked to him the other day. He's with my grandma down in Myrtle Beach, and I feel like I wasted a lot of time when I was younger based on, again, what somebody else said, instead of finding shit out for myself. And so I hold on to that a lot. I think about it a lot, but there's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, it's great. He has his insurance company, Gray's Way Inc. So, yep. I feel like the older generation, they're more to judge people, and they forget what it was like when they were younger. Times are definitely different now. It's more fast paced, and you don't have to get it as hard as you did back in the day. So I feel like sometimes they have resentment towards us for that. And I feel like they tell us to do certain stuff, and then when we do it, they don't like it. We can't do everything verbatim to what you say. We have to tweak it, but we appreciate that thing, but the things that you teach us. But we have to do things that fit us, fit our life. And I feel like they feel it's disrespectful to them or what they had to go through. It's different times. Sure, my kids get older, they're gonna do shit the opposite way or a different way to get to the same way. You can't be mad at me if you tell me to open this door and something's there and I decide to walk around the street to do it. That's cool. You did what you're supposed to do. But you can't be mad at me for using your advice, or I feel like they change the narrative when you use the same things that they did teach you and you do use it. Now they want to change it and alter it. It's like, no, you showed me this, so how can I be wrong? Like, so I feel like the older generation have to start embracing us instead of shunning us. And I feel like that's why people are kind of disrespectful or don't go to older people for advice. I don't fuck with my mom, and I know it sounds crazy to say, because if you look at the old interviews, I always talked about how my mom was my baby and shit like that, but it's just a lot of shit, even with the DCF shit. Like, my mom played a role in that shit too, like, with my baby mom. Like, my mom, like Doughboy said on Boys in the Hood, she loved that nigga more than she loved me. Like, that's exactly how it is. Like, I have no relationship with my mom, and is basically because I won't allow her to be disrespectful to wifey, or I won't let her be disrespectful to her own granddaughter. Like, at the end of the day, these are our kids, so you have to respect it as the grandparent. You're the grandparent. That means that at the end of the day, it starts with us. It's no different when we're younger. You make a baby, you gotta take care of it. Well, we're doing that. You don't have to agree with everything that we're saying, but I just feel like my mom, like, when it came to certain shit, my mom betrayed me about some shit. So I try to keep it as peaceful as possible. When people ask me how she doing, oh, she's doing good. But I don't get the same respect. Like, there's no fucking way that you could sit here and tell me that you're gonna sit here with my baby mom, who's a fucking convicted felon. You're in the Jehovah's Witness shit, and I couldn't play ball and be around worldly kids, but you could sit here and have a fucking party with her. And my thing is, it's not so much my baby mom, it's more so that you taught me something, and now you're trying to move the goalpost, so to speak, or change the narrative. Like, I don't have a problem with anybody speaking to her. That's not the issue. You know she's not fucking doing what she's supposed to be doing as a parent. So how the fuck do you sit here and allow yourself to be in this company? Because if it was me and I was a convicted felon going back and forth to jail, not taking my kids, my mom would have my head. So my mom is the greatest mom growing up. But as a grandparent, she sucks, because you only worry about one grandkid because you don't want to respect my wife, because you feel like because we're younger and you already raised your kids, that's cool, you did a great job, but at the end of the day, these are our kids, and we've always opened our home to it. But you gotta understand, My wife is somebody's daughter. She's somebody's wife. She's an adult. You should be happy that I'm with somebody who's taking care of the kid, and she doesn't have to take care of my kid. My son is not her son, but she's been in his life since he was 1 month old. Like, think about that. Like, women love when a guy comes around to take care of the kid and say, oh, well, he's the dad. But you don't like it the same way when it's the opposite. Again, you don't change the narrative. Like, my stepdad was in my life when I was 15. She's been in Josh's life again since he was 1 month old. So I have respect for my stepdad. And my mom always told my father and my brother's dad that you're gonna respect him because this is who I'm raising my kid with. Again, so how are we not teaching, how are you not following the same thing? You know, and now that, you know, she's divorced, I still have a relationship with my stepfather. That's y'all business. That's grown people's business. That's not for me to get into marriage. Because, of course, I'm going to have my mom's back, but I don't know everything. But that's not my problem. Y'all divorced. Y'all going about your life. At the end of the day, I can't not have a relationship with him just because of y'all. Like, no. So it was cool basically when it benefited me, when he was taking care of me. But it's now that y'all, nah, fuck that. I'm going to have a relationship with who I want to have a relationship with. Like, nah, I'm not doing that shit. So I don't have no relationship with my mom at all. I try to keep it peaceful as possible. And everybody says I need to speak to her because you only get one mom and all that shit, but fuck all that. At the end of the day, I worry about my kids and I take all the tools that she taught me and I do it. So at the end of the day, like I was saying to my mother-in-law the other day, I don't waste God's time asking him to fix it because that's not something I'm interested in. I tried it and I've been backdoored and found out shit and seen it with my own eyes. It took me a while to figure it out. I'm not gonna let nobody disrespect my household. I'm not. So if you can't understand that, then just like everybody else, you could go your way and I'll go my way. And it's crazy because she lives around the corner from me. So I laugh at it because it's like, it's really stupid. But in my own time, yeah, that shit fucking hurts. Like, who wants to not have a relationship with their mom? Like, nah, but it is what it is. I always hang around females. I've been the same way since I was in high school. I love being around women who are about something, women who are striving to do things. It motivates me, and I think it comes from being raised with my mom. I feel like women are very important, and women who are in my life who are loyal, I take that to heart. Especially like someone like my mother-in-law, like that. Like, I would do anything for my mother-in-law, like, because I know at the end of the day, I've known her since we were 5. We used to live across the street from each other. Her and my mom used to be best friends. Like, so she's our barber. She's my decorator. Like, everything, her and wife, when I want something, her and wifey tag team shit and get shit done. I would do anything for her, and it has nothing to do with my relationship with my mom at all. It's always been that way. She's told me, regardless of whatever happens, if one day my lady decides to leave me for the dude from from Chicago PD that she likes, Kev, she still would be here for me, and that's all she showed me. And I'm the same way when it comes to her. Like, I always could depend on her. I love her, and that's my mom right now, you know. And that's how it's always been. Like I said, it's nothing to do with my relationship with my own mother. It's just the way it is.
New Era Records.
How would y'all? Get up, get up, get up, get up. Oh yeah. Top floor. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Let's have some fun. Front row. Get up, get up, get up, get up.